Breaking news tonight, 3 Americans freed in a historic prisoner swap with Russia are back on U.S. soil tonight. Former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, and Russian-American journalist Alsu Kurmashiva were abandoned aboard a plane that landed at Joint Base Andrews just a little over an hour ago.
The 3 were greeted by President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Family and friends were also waiting for them on the tarmac. Natalie Brand has more on their long-awaited homecoming from Washington.
President Biden and Vice President Harris welcomed home Americans as they touched down on U.S. soil in a major prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia.
My job is to make sure, number one, they don't get them. And if they do, we get them back.
Pictures from the U.S. government show the Americans freed. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, who was arrested in Russia last year, Marine veteran Paul Whelan, held since 2018, and Russian-American journalist Alsu Kurmashiva. Their families were invited to the Oval Office to celebrate the news. U.S. permanent resident Vladimir Kara-Murza was also released in the deal. President Biden described the months-long negotiations as a feat of diplomacy involving 7 countries and 24 prisoners. He also thanked U.S. allies for helping to make it happen.
Today is a powerful example of why it's vital to have friends in this world. Friends you can trust, work with, and depend upon, especially on matters of great consequence and sensitivity like this. Our alliances make our people safer.
President Biden and I and our team have engaged in complex diplomatic negotiations to bring these wrongfully detained Americans home. Gershkovich's family issued a statement saying in part, quote, "We have waited 491 days for Evan's release, and it's hard to describe what today feels like. We can't wait to give him the biggest hug and see his sweet and brave smile up close." Staffers applauded in the Journal newsroom as news of his release broke. In exchange, Russia is getting back 8 of its own, including 2 convicted spies released by Slovenia and a convicted murderer held in Germany.
It's a question that we grapple with every time that we look at the hard decisions involved in one of these exchanges.
Some foreign policy experts say prisoner swaps could give Russian President Vladimir Putin incentive to take more Americans as bargaining chips. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Paul Whelan's brother lives here in San Diego. He released a lengthy statement today saying that his family is grateful and thankful to everyone who helped free Paul, adding, quote, "While we did our best as amateurs with limited resources, we do not believe Paul would be free today without the expert help we received behind the scenes."